Welcome to day 9 and the second in our conversations about our more challenging emotions. Let's talk about fear. This is a biggie. Many people view fear as a kind of an enemy, but in truth it has a purpose. It serves us, and like all emotions, it's never the core emotional component that is the problem. It's our relationship with it and what we do with it. In its primary capacity, fear brings us the gift of protection, and therefore the gift of safety. Now, this may seem an extreme contradiction to our actual experience of fear, because when we feel fear, we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe at all. But in truth, when fear speaks to us, it's informing us of a lack of safety. If we are genuinely in a position of threat, this is good information. We need to listen, we need to respond, and we need to take action. If I were out walking and a car careered off the road, my healthy fear would activate immediately. Fueled by adrenaline, I would get out of the way. Without fear, self-preservation would be absent. When we engage in any kind of activity that contains an element of risk, however big or however small, it's our healthy, appropriate fear integrated into our emotional understanding that informs us to take precautions. And as a result, if we work or play in an environment that involves risk, we mindfully put safety measures in place to support our actions. When we teach our children to look both ways before they cross the road, we're teaching them about healthy fear. We're teaching them when and where and how this emotion is appropriate and what action to take. We're enabling them to integrate healthy fear into their emotional vocabulary. So caution is an outcome of healthy, appropriate fear, and a very good example of our mind and our emotions working as a team. One of the difficulties that we often run into in our relationship with fear is that we lack the skills to self-regulate its intensity and its duration. Once our fear has been activated, we don't know how to gauge when the threat is over, and we often don't know how to self-regulate and turn the volume control of our fear back down again. When a pride of lions sets out to hunt, the animals they're hunting immediately move into a state of high alert. They experience fear, and this is appropriate. However, when the hunt is over, fear is no longer needed, and they turn their alert system back down again. Within a very short space of time, the animals that were being hunted will be grazing again as normal. The threat is over, and they're continuing with their lives. So it's healthy to be able to experience fear, but then turn the volume control back down again afterwards. Another difficulty connected with fear is the impact of trauma. Trauma is an emotional memory, and it comes from an experience that's been both terrifying as well as out of our control. Trauma is a combination of both fear, or indeed terror, and absolute helplessness. If we've been unable to process a traumatic experience, then a residue of fear will remain within us. And when this happens, our fear-generating, self-protective measures remain active, and we continue to live from a position of high alert. When we experience a genuine and a real threat, it is absolutely essential that we listen to our fear and that we take action. when we have unresolved traumatic history still active within us, it is also absolutely essential that we listen and take action. In this instance, of course, the action is actually to seek support that will enable us to work this through. At its worst, fear can be disabling, controlling, and disempowering, both of ourselves and of others. At its best, it is absolutely essential in our capacity to engage in life from a position of mindful care and appropriate protection. So let's recognise that fear has a valuable contribution to make in our capacity to live a healthy life, and let's give ourselves permission to let go of any historical fear that no longer serves us, and maybe in our way of creating an active and flourishing life for ourselves right here and right now, as well as in our future. Let's meditate together. As we begin this meditation, we will focus on our thought for today. Healthy fear brings protection. Healthy fear brings protection. In the first part of our meditation, as you hear the singing bowl, we will focus on allowing the release of any stored up emotional tension. And we'll be particularly mindful to release any concerns and any fears that we have about our more challenging emotions. And as we continue on our journey of emotional discovery, we can release any need for self-analysis, any need to have all the answers, and just create a space of gentle welcoming and gentle release. In the second part of our meditation, as you hear the singing bowl again, we will move to a place of stillness, a place of calm, a place of thoughtful limits, knowing that we can choose to return to a place of further release at a later time. Making sure you are in a safe place. Get into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Allow yourself to breathe naturally and gently and deeply. Notice any sensations in your body that may have become activated as we've spoken about fear. Fear is an emotion that we feel in a very physical way. So many of us have had difficult and challenging experiences with this core emotional component. So many of us will have stored up emotional tension connected to fear, historical tension. And this kind of history tends to carry a lot of distress and a lot of anxiety as to whether it's okay to let it go, to release these feelings. As any emotions surface, simply receive these emotions with the deepest of care and the deepest compassion, and very gently allow their release. And then return yourself to breathing gently. When we are able to release historical tension, we become far more available to accurately engage with our emotional experiences in the here and now. So, as emotions surface, let's just gently release. A letting go of stress and distress that we may still be carrying around with us. Just a gentle welcome and a gentle release. There is, of course, so much we can do to come to terms with any difficult history that we have, and any unresolved issues around fear. And of course, releasing history, releasing stored up emotional memory from the past, is a very good beginning to allowing ourselves to be more available, to have a full and flourishing relationship with our emotional experience in the here and now. Gently welcome and gently release. A gentle letting go. It's time to place a safe boundary around this part of our meditation. It's time to bring the release of emotions to a close. As we clear the space within ourselves, we can begin to relax and move gently into a space of stillness. a space of presence and a space of calm. Continue to breathe naturally, gently and deeply. And as you hear the singing bowl again, we'll draw our meditation to a close. It's time to draw our meditation to a close. Throughout the day, remind yourself from time to time of our thought for today. Healthy fear brings protection. Healthy fear brings protection. Keep this thought in your mind, perhaps write it on a piece of paper and carry it with you. From time to time during the day, when you remind yourself of this thought, allow yourself to return to the memory of the calm and the stillness that we experience when we release historical emotional tension. And be mindful that fear is an emotion that we need to listen to. Fear is a signal to take action, and whether that's in response to something very immediate, or a response that's letting us know we need to seek some emotional support. Take care.